I guess that's a promo, Denise. RadioNext.TV, Jumbo Love. And we are live each and every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on the second Saturday, and we are into 5 years strong of bringing you information, awareness, and resources from Sokoa, Aging and In-Home Solutions, especially as it pertains to our faith-based community and my sister, my friend, Denise Jones Harrington. What's up, girl?
Good morning, good morning, good morning on this beautiful Saturday. It's
You
good to
laughing
be
at
with
me?
you. Huh?
You laughing at me? We got to keep the radio listeners entertained to these people on
You do.
Facebook. I really, I'm going to tell you the truth. This little Facebook, YouTube, and all that, I like y'all. But I love these people who have been rolling with me going on 14 years that don't have any interest at all of being on Facebook or these other social media platforms. So I'm talking to two different audiences. So
That's
forgive me
fine.
sometimes for keeping them entertained because they can't see me, but they laughing their butt off right now. How
Hey,
you feeling?
that's how it is with radio, right? That's what we
You
do.
know it, boy. If you don't have an
Radio.
imagination, something's wrong. And I was talking stuff this morning, Denise, on syrup on the waffle, and I forget that these sisters out here, some of them out here sitting alone and think Jumbo Love's quite handsome, and sometimes I get myself in trouble by talking too much. So,
Oh, okay. That's what happens.
yeah, yeah, that
All
little bad
right.
13-year-old boy I try to keep in the basement. He is something else. But anyway, we know there have been several changes, and I mean, the community is in an uproar, whether it be politically, whether it be through insurance claims and Medicaid. This started way before the election, and now we're in full force and in the warp of the changes that have been made with Medicaid, Medicare,
Mhm.
agencies like Sokoa have been affected, and it's an ever-changing landscape out here. So just give the people a little comfort in letting them know that we're trying to rectify some of the communication issues and
Mhm.
some of the best ways to streamline the way that they need to pick up their care. If we could start there.
Okay. Well, that's a big start.
That's why we've been doing this for 5 years.
So basically, if a person is already on Medicaid, then they go to Indiana Pathways for questions with their to find their case manager and any of the services that they're wanting, and that's they can actually Google that and it'll come up, or have a loved one look it up so that they can get the number for Indiana Pathways. And then the wait list for Medicaid, we've done I think a splendid job. It sounds like of getting people off of the wait list, so they're really getting people moving through that wait list and have gotten it down, and that's good, right? That's a good thing for people to know and experience. And so, any questions still, people can call our ADRC, which our numbers have picked up. We've been receiving a lot of phone calls, so hopefully people are getting the answers that they need to be able to proceed with whatever steps they need to take to remain in their homes.
And that is the primary reason Sokoa Aging and Home Solutions over
Mhm.
50 years have been around is to make sure that as long as you can to keep you at home the
Yeah,
best way that we can. So
yeah,
that
exactly.
information we're going to try to parlay as much as possible. And as we were discussing this week, many of the people who are needing these resources and this information, they are not on this platform. And unfortunately, when we're talking to a senior community, we know that more are not than are on
Uh-huh.
social media platforms. So we have to
Yeah,
be very, very intentional about
yeah,
reaching the churches, reaching the organizations that service our seniors, many of the adult day centers and the Centerwell primary cares and people like that. So
that's
thank you
true.
for that.
That's
Now,
true.
we have several events coming up, and we haven't talked in a month. Tell me what's
Yeah.
happening at Sokoa.
Oh well, we're busy. With our dementia programs, we are now gearing up for our fundraiser. I believe this is about the fourth or fifth year that we've done the Top Golf fundraiser. So if you love Top Golf or you want to experience Top Golf for the first time, we'd love for you to come out on March the 20th. That's from 5 to 8 o'clock. up in the Fishers location. They're off of I-69. And this fundraiser is really an opportunity to help us to continue the programming that we're doing with Dementia Friends. So we have Dementia Friends Indiana, and then we have Dementia Friendly Indianapolis. So Dementia Friends Indiana, to just kind of give people a brief overview, is a resource where we come out and we do an hour session with anybody, with any group that would like to be a part of that. And we really try to help to eliminate the stigma around dementia. So really the basics, we're really talking about what is dementia, what are the different forms of dementia, moving into the 10 warning signs, as well as looking at what are 10 normal aging processes that would happen, because sometimes people wonder, like, am I on the right side of that? So we try to give that information, as well as the fact that we talk about communication with someone who is now living with dementia. And so that's a great opportunity to get those first conversations going with people. And we love to come out and do those sessions. We do a little pre-test to see what you know before, and then we do a little post-test afterwards to see what you've learned. And we found that our number increased up to like 96% of the people felt like they learned something through those dementia sessions. So we're excited about that. We're happy to bring those out. So then you may say, well, what's Dementia Friendly Indianapolis? Well, that's our business side. So with Dementia Friendly Indianapolis, we're really looking for how to make communities dementia friendly. And that's under the U.S. Aging. So they have dementia friendly communities, and we're one of those here in Indianapolis. And as a result of that, we have just recently trained some of the staff at the Indianapolis Public Libraries. So that's been exciting. If you go to our website, the website isn't up yet. I got to talk about that. But you can go to Instagram and Facebook and see the pictures from the people that did the training. We are about to launch a new website for Dementia Friendly Indianapolis. So we're hoping that'll be up by April.
And one of those things, I don't mean to interrupt you, when you talk about the basics and explaining the basics, and I try to get my peers and the people that I work with to give this information to the communities. Sometimes we have to start at square one, and let people know the difference between dementia and how it houses the many diseases that come along, such as Alzheimer's, and get a better grip on knowing what it is first before we want people to come. And we just go down to the basics. And you said something just so poignant the last time we talked about care partner and caregiver. Knowing the difference between those two are paramount as you go along your journey to help and assist your loved one, or if you become a person with one of these diseases up under dementia. So I just think it's important every time that we give that information to the people that are listening, because we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And we do have a website for Dementia Friends Indiana. So you can put in Dementia Friends Indiana and it will pop up, and you can see some of the information about what we do with that programming. And one of the other things that we've been launching and really starting to build, and hopefully more in our faith communities, is memory cafes. And so what is a memory cafe? Well, a memory cafe is an opportunity for the care partner, caregiver with their person who's living with dementia to come together for a fun activity. So something that's outside of their norm, an opportunity to, be around other people, to socialize. Because when you think about it, when someone's caring for someone, they're basically with that person all the time, unless they take them to an adult day center. So then they're separated. All right. So this is an opportunity for them to come together, maybe learn some activities and things that they can do at home, also to socialize as well. And so memory cafes mainly, they're usually about an hour and a half. And so there's some socialization. There's an opportunity to learn something new, whether that's, they do something with music, or they do a craft or something like that, or it can be just exercise, or just a time to sit around and chat. So it's open for any opportunities that people can do in their creative minds around memory cafes. And this is the one where we say we leave dementia at the door. So we're not talking about dementia. We're engaging and having fun together. So we've had opportunity with a drum set where everybody was kind of Resounding Joy does drumming, and so they were doing drumming around that. We've had an OT that works with people with just kind of doing some chair yoga exercises and all of that, and that's really fun. So it's it could be about anything, you know.
Well, you know what would be interesting is if we had like this old school DJ come and play some music from the past that people.
Yeah, exactly. Because most people remember those old songs and everything that has been in their memory. And remember, one of the things that Pat said at our Faith Summit was she likes music and wanted everybody to know that playing music would be really something she would enjoy when she gets to a point where she can't speak for herself. So yeah, definitely. And it's amazing the studies and things that they've seen with people who become nonverbal. But if you play an older song that they know, like there's an amazing video of a lady was nonverbal, and they played Amazing Grace, and she automatically started singing Amazing Grace. Because remember, many of those things that stay within the brain are from the past. And so it's an issue with short-term memory, but long-term memory, a lot of times people do remember a lot of things from their past. So music is a great one. It's one of the ones that people tend to respond to the most. So we've learned
I'm looking at my camera real clear right now. Why do you think I do stir up on the waffle?
That's keeping your brain going, right?
It's some sisters that I'm hitting nerve on every Saturday morning using music therapy. So I understand this real clear. Now, I do want to say this, though, because seriously, we're building an ecosystem, and I talk to you candidly because you're like my sister. So we talk off air more so than me and many of my partners about what we can do to effectively get this information to our community. And one of the ways is not to only have your organization, but to have 2 to 3 to 4 different organizations that are not in competition, but organizations that offer peripheral help and assistance in the quest, so to speak. So like I work with assisted living homes. So to be able to do a memory cafe there and then invite people in who might offer some other type of service coming together. And now we're building and breeding, a hub of information to the people. What do you think about ideas like that?
Those are wonderful ideas. There's plenty of information out there. People are doing some wonderful programming. So we want to make sure that everybody's getting recognized with that. So one of the ways that you can become involved is to be a part of our spring festival. So thank you for taking us right into that, HB.
I'm trying to be delicate as possible with my...
Yeah, Dementia Friendly Indianapolis is now sponsoring a spring festival. We've done a fall festival for a couple of years now down at the University of Indianapolis, which will happen again this year. But this year will be our first time doing the spring festival. It's going to be on April the 24th, and it'll be from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And it's at Northminster Presbyterian Church at 1660 Kessler Boulevard, East Drive. It's right between, it's like in the Glendale area. So it's before you get to
let me give these colored folks some between Keystone and College on Kessler, y'all.
On Kessler,
big old church on the north side of the street.
It is.
That's how my listening audience is going to understand.
That's good.
I'm sorry, I have to do this to my people.
That's fine. And so this is what's different about the Spring Festival is the fact that it's an opportunity for people to come, anybody to come and have activities and be able to see those resources that you're talking about, HB. So we have about 28 vendors already that have signed up to be there. We are asking them to bring a spring activity to do with people, just like we do the fall activity. We ask people to bring something that people can engage in. So this is an opportunity to get information, but to have some fun, do a craft, learn something about a particular organization or resources out there that maybe you didn't know about before. And we're hoping for really great weather so we can kind of be outside on the parking lot, but they have a wonderful atrium area there with windows, and also we'll have some vendors inside. We'll have some light snacks as a result of that. So yeah, come with your friends, bring your loved ones. It's a great outing just to come out and check it out from 3 to 6 on April the 24th. And we'd love to see you there. And it's free.
And I want to encourage the listening audience out here to start being involved in some of these events in our public square, because I'm telling you, it's one thing to listen and email someone, but the power of meeting someone and understanding and seeing community in action that just lends a little bit more energy
Yeah.
in building, because we're only 2 years in
Mhm.
this great initiative, Indianapolis, the dementia friendly Indianapolis, just 2 years. And that power of networking, that power of being out and meeting other people in the public has just been very monumental in making this movement happen. We have membership opportunities if people want to be part of
That's true.
dementia friendly Indianapolis as well.
Yeah. So we have an action team of about Holly was telling me the other day, I think it's like 30 some people that are part of the action team. And and it's amazing how people are like, yeah, we want to do this. This shows movement. This shows creativity. We're able to come together. We're not in competition with each other, and they come up with the ideals. So they actually help with the memory cafes, volunteering there, and then they will also be helping with the spring festival. So this comes from the kind of reimagine dementia, taking it to the streets. So we're going to be out in the community so that people can come and learn. So even if you don't know anything about dementia, you don't have anybody in your family that's diagnosed with, that's fine. Come out anyway and hear about some of the resources, or just come and do a fun activity. Get a carpool, load everybody in, and just come on over to Northminster Presbyterian Church and hang out with us on April 24th from 3 to 6.
And I am so happy that you mentioned nobody in your family diagnosed, because the chances are you have somebody in your family with dementia or one of those diseases like Alzheimer's. You just start able to understand what these symptoms are. And that's the reason coming out to just get a better viewpoint of what this is important, because we wait a lot of times watching the slippage of our loved one go into one of those diseases, Denise, and then it's way too late to try to extend as much of a normal life as possible. Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. If you don't know what you're facing, it's hard to deal with it. And this is not like watching someone with cancer and you can see the whittling away and get prepared. This is something that mentally that person's sitting up and talking to you and everything's normal at dinner, and tomorrow morning they are somebody totally different. So this is something different, and I think as much as we can give to the public, the better.
Exactly. And it's not even that maybe you may have somebody in your family, but you may know somebody, right? Or somebody in your faith community, or somebody in your social club, or somebody at work, that is now a caregiver and helping their loved one. So so any way we can get information, how does information really get out? It gets out by word of mouth, right? People talk about things that they
I just told them, especially to the community that we're serving. And I keep saying this over and over. This dynamic called social media and information age technology is very attractive to the audience that is about 50 years, 55 years and younger, where the transition was easier to accept. But for folks, I'm 66 and I'm telling you, this is funny. But I was sitting up and I was telling somebody about HB. Brother said, HB, I heard you do this radio thing. I said, yeah, I do internet radio. And when I switched the verbiage, I do radio on the internet, it made more sense to him like never before. And I just sat there and shook my head, Denise, and said, wow, because he understood radio first. And you can get me on the internet, versus me saying that he thought he had to pay, subscribe. So we have to be very delicate about how we can, convey information to certain sectors of our audience. I'm saying that in a long way, but my listeners are right now cheering and saying, thank you, HB.
Yep. So I want to just talk about a couple of other things that we have going on. So there is always yearly a survey that's taken just to see how older adults in Central Indiana feel like resources are available to them and how they can connect with them. And so this is coming up this week, March 13th from 1 to 2 at our offices at 844. That's not right. 844. Oh, I'm forgetting something.
8440.
8440. There we go. Woodfield Crossing. You can come up from 1 to 2 and hear about this CASOA report. And it really gives the adages of where people feel like is transportation available to them? Is food available to them? Are they able to reach those resources that they need? So this is a great opportunity to hear about this report, but it's also available on our website if you'd like to go check it out. And then on the 18th is Indiana Senior Day, which is happening down at the State House, and it's an honor for seniors to connect. So it's really looking at what are some of the key services for seniors in the Indianapolis and Indiana area. And so our interim CEO will be speaking at this event on March the 18th, and it's an all-day thing from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. So it's food that will be served there as well. So if you want to come down to the State House and really hear about what are things that are going on with seniors, but also show up to support, we'd love for you to do that. I
told you, Denise, I'm sorry. Doing this radio thing and this TV thing is so weird, because I just had a sister text me and said, now HB, you just told her we don't. She just hit me up and said, you just told her that we don't have transportation. You just told her that we ain't on the internet. How are we supposed to know all this? That's why when this is real life, real time stuff right here.
They're listening, right? So they're
listening. And thank God they're listening. But what she's saying is, how would they know that? Her people. And so that's what I mean. And I'm not being confrontational at all, but that's real life. I couldn't even ask for it any better, for us to bring this together to let us know as a community, our churches, our people who service our seniors have this information, so you can hand it to them, give it to them, because they're not on the internet that much. Mm-hmm. And that's all I'm saying. And when you were giving that dialogue, she almost felt like, well, you just was. So I'm sitting up here reading text and listening to you, and it was hilarious because it was real life, real time.
So
information exchange at its best.
Is that not the reason we're doing this, though? Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
So they can write it down.
But imagine if we was just imagine if we was just on Facebook and we wasn't using this radio on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that? Now, I know that you have a busy morning, so I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to wrap up the rest of the things that the audience needs to know, and places and events that they can be a part of, and wrap it up for me.
Well, I think I've covered everything. I went through each of the events that we have. And I would just say,
argument are we?
I would just say if you could come out to Northminster on April 24th, that would be a great opportunity to see some of those resources and all that we have. And I want to thank our sponsor, CareSource, for sponsoring our Topgolf at the platinum level. So we were able to do this fundraiser because we were able to get sponsors to be able to help out. And this will help us then grow these dementia programs as a result.
Absolutely. And I want to thank CareSource too.
Yep. So I'm out today getting dementia information out in the faith community. That's what we do, so that's why I gotta go, because I gotta go to work some more.
I know that's right. Now, thank you though for taking out the time this morning, and just do your thing out there and make sure you keep bringing this information, awareness, and resources to our community. Denise Jones Harrington, Sokoa, Aging and Home Solutions. Love you, Queen.
All right, take care, my brother.
Talk to you.